Hey everybody, Weem here. Welcome to Darkout. This is a game that a few of you have been recommending to me over the last, I don't know, month or so, and I kind of added it to the list. You know, I'm going to check that out at some point. I've got these other games I'm trying to finish up, though, and do things with. But recently, specifically this last weekend, I was looking for something new. I just thought, you know, I want to kind of mess around with something new, and Weary Amoeba mentioned this game, and I thought, oh, Darkout, yeah, I've got that on the list, let me go look at it. And pretty much whenever anybody sends me a game, if I haven't heard of it or it's been a while since I've looked into it, I go check it out again, and this time was no different. So Weary Amoeba, like I said, mentioned it. I went and checked it out and thought, you know what, that actually looks pretty cool, and yeah, let's do something new. So I did pick it up, and I went through a little bit of the tutorial and thought, you know, this is pretty sweet. I think a number of you guys and gals would like this game, so here I am to show it to you. Now, I did mention that I've been through the tutorial before, and it was very brief. It just walks you kind of through a bit of the process until you're setting up your first shelter. So I've kind of turned that off, but I'm going to walk you through that stuff anyway. Now, the first thing I want to point out is that with the mouse here, we can actually aim around and the screen actually pans, so we can kind of move and see things in the distance. Now, this guy's going to attack us. So let's see. We really need to break down this pod and get to things. So we've got the chest icon. We're going to shift left click here, and then I'm going to shift click to select these out. I hope we don't die right now. It's quite possible. So we're going to go ahead and bring the torch out here, right click, and then we can beat this thing down with it. So that takes care of that. Now I'm going to jump up here to the interface that's directly above me and kind of explain some of this stuff. Now the green bars obviously are life. We're down a bit because that thing kind of smacked us a bit. The sun looking icon is the amount of illumination coming off of you, and that's important because light coming off of you makes the creatures near you vulnerable to your damage, so that's a good thing. Now, up in the right-hand corner, I believe this is actually bugged. It looks like an eclipse, right? It's kind of dark. That's actually an indication of how much of the world you've explored and kind of brought light to. Now, normally that's supposed to be at 99 or 100 or something and work its way down. It's at 0. I think it's kind of bugged out right now, but this is, you know, it's early access to this game, so what can you do? And that's cool. We don't need to know how much we've explored. We know it's pretty much nothing. So anyway, that gives you the basic rundown of that. Now, one of the first things we need to do is break down our pod, and this is kind of cool. We get to break it down and gather up resources like buckets and leather and glass. Sure, sounds good to me. This was flying through space, but you know, we can make buckets from it. So anyway, we've now got those resources piled up, and we do have the light as I put down here. Now, I did that in a hurry, so I didn't quite get to explain that to you, but basically if I scroll my mouse wheel here, you'll see it select between these pairs of blocks, the top being your left mouse, the bottom being right. So if we're on the first one here, auto is an indicator that wherever your mouse is, it's going to provide the tool you need. Now I believe you did in Terraria, that was a shift. You'd hold shift and that would happen. So you can see we've got an axe, we've got the shovel. So it's going to kind of give us the tool we need based on what we're moused over. Now on the bottom block we've got the torch, so I can actually right click and then I can keep right clicking to beat things with it. Wah. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring out some more items. If I go in here, we do have a rifle, not a rifle, a pistol, and we're going to bring that down in here, and for that to work we kind of need the bullets here. So right clicking is not going to do much for me if I scroll over there, but if I left click we're going to get a shot off. So we'll go ahead and conserve that ammo. Now, of course, we've got the tools in here, but those are going to appear automatically. We've got some other things in here, a data log, flare, things like that, a syringe for life. We do have a lantern, and we've got some other cool things in here, but we're going to get to those a little bit later. Let's go ahead and break the torch out. Go ahead and collect this little creature part we get for dropping him. Now you see the little icon just showed up. It's kind of like a beaker, and it says a 2. Now when you do things in this world, for example if I dig, you'll see more up here above my head, +3. That's research points. So we're doing a lot of gathering and crafting, and some of that requires some research. So that is good. As we gather things, we'll be gaining research points. Now the basic story behind this world is that there was a civilization here that we were actually part of, and we were on this world, you know, we were here peacefully, things were all good, until something came and blocked out the sun, made things very dark. Then these shadow creatures started showing up and kind of chased us off the planet. Yeah, we're gonna have to take them out for that. And we will, but first we're going to have to gather things and get prepped to survive. So essentially we left the world, we tried to leave the world, but we really didn't get out of orbit of the planet. We're kind of stuck in orbit right now, and power has become an issue. As such, our civilization is essentially ejecting people. Ejecting people in their stasis pods, and we happen to be one of those people. So we were ejected, we've landed back down on the planet, and we've just kind of got to do what we got to do to survive. So that's kind of the basic story here. We're in a very dark world, trying to make do with what we can. Now, again, going back to the research points here, we keep seeing the beaker icon come up. There's a number of ways to get that. Obviously, you can see it by gathering resources here. So mining blocks, crafting items gives us points, harvesting things, we've been seeing that, and also placing some objects. So that's something we can do in this world, is build shelters and place objects, things like beds, things you're kind of used to in games like Terraria and Minecraft and even Edge of Space if you've seen me playing that recently. So the first thing we kind of want to get to is gathering a bunch of wood so we can build our first shelter. So once we get enough of these going, go ahead and chop this down. Let's see, what are we at? We've got wood going here. We've got 59 wood. Get us up to 67 there. So once we get this up a bit and get some other things while we're at it, then we will start to work on our shelter. So I'm going to chop some trees for a bit. Okay, as you can see, I've got all the trees chopped down in this area. We're just above where we started. This is where we crash landed, essentially. We got some more trees over there, but I think I have enough to kind of get our first place built. Now, game does autosave. It hangs a little bit there, but that's cool. So what we need to do now is level out an area to build our first shelter. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to dig, and again, we're getting research points while we do this. Very cool. Let's keep going here. This little shadow creature is trying to creep up on me. I see you. Like a stealthy ninja. Where's my light? Where's my light? Get back here. Yeah. Get out of here. Hey, I thought I killed you. Oh, I'm hurting right now. Okay, so this is relatively flat. So what we want to do is we want to place down wood, and once again, if you're familiar with games like Terraria and Edge of Space, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But we do need to kind of make this wood into actual material that we can place down. This is just kind of raw wood at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the crafting window. And you can see we've got categories of all these different things we can make. So we're going to go into building. Actually, my bad. The first thing we need to do is go to resources. We need to actually get the wood built here first. Now I've got 111 wood. I don't think we need all of that. Let's go ahead and make, I think we'll use like 75, or we'll do 75 of these right now. Okay, so we got a stack of 72, oddly enough. Okay, let's actually get more of that. We'll do another 25 and see where that puts us. 96? Sure, why not? Now we're going to go into the building. And you can see we've got wall and back wall bits. We've got dirt wall and dirt back wall. And down here we have wood wall and wood back wall. Now, it says wood wall, but that's actually the material that will make the wall, ceiling, and floor that is on our current level, the stuff we can walk on or run into. The back wall is the stuff that goes in the background. So what we need is a good chunk of wood wall. Let's go ahead and make 50 of these. Okay, and we're going to drag that down in here. In fact, we're going to drag it into the left slot instead of basically the left mouse button instead of the right mouse button. And we want to make 2 doors. Let's do that. And then we want some wood background, right, for the back wall. And we can make quite a bit of these. We have 87 wood. Let's just go ahead and start with, I don't know, 50 of these. See where that puts us. 60, right? Somehow. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this floor down. So we actually need to drag the rest of this stuff out here. So there's the door, there's that. And we scroll out to here. And we can just start placing this stuff down. Now, I don't put my crosshair where it's actually going to be. In this case, we're actually going to put the shovel right where the wood is going to sit on top of. So we're going to get over here and start placing things. Okay, I thought I actually clicked down here, but maybe not. We're still learning. So we can see this is coming along. Now, I really wish I could hold like the left click and have this move, you know, place down as I walk, but I'm doing that right now and you can see it doesn't work. You have to single click each time. Unfortunately. That's not too big a deal though. So there we go. We've got the floor to there. Now if I kind of move over to the torch, you can kind of see, sort of, see our floor. So I think that's enough room. There's a couple things we're going to put in here initially, and so I'm just trying to make sure I've got enough room for that. Let's just go ahead and put down a few more of these, just to make sure we've got room. Now I need space here for the door, and you can't build into the air. And even building the doors doesn't help with that, but we're going to go ahead and build the doors anyway. With the door selected, I'm actually going to hold left click and place out here. You can see I'm still holding and kind of drag around, so we'll let go there. And we will do the same over here where the hinge will be. Now we've got the gear icon. A lot of the objects you place you can interact with, and when the gear icon comes up, you simply shift left click and you can interact. In this case, that means opening and closing the doors. Now even with the doors here, we still can't place wood. We can't start the next plank above here. What we have to do is actually set the background in order to make that happen. So we're going to go ahead and click down a bunch of that. We'll just follow the door here. And now that we're up to there, if I scroll over here to the torch, you can see the light kind of go around the door. We can see the background there. So we'll place wood there, one above it, and then we'll carry this over for the ceiling. Just left clicking like crazy. Get on over here, like so. So there we go. We've got the ceiling up above us. We've got doors. We're pretty much set, but we're going to place some background in here. So I'm going to go ahead, it's going to save, there we go, and I'm going to fill this background in and we'll pick it up from there. Okay, we're back. We've got the background in here set. I left some windows. I think that looks pretty cool. Hopefully it doesn't let anything in that's too dangerous. I think we're okay though. But yeah, we got the doors, the walls, the ceiling, the floor. We are now ready to start placing some objects. So the first thing that we're going to place is called the combinator, and this is an item you actually start with and is a power source. So we're going to drag this guy down here. Another thing that we want to place is a bed. It lets us rest and get some health back, and I believe it's what's required in order to kind of set the your shelter as a spawn point. I could be wrong. It could be the combinator that does that. But anyway, we would actually come in here under furniture to find the wooden bed. The thing is, I've already made the bed, so we're going to go ahead and put that down here. And then finally, we want some light, right? We need some light sources for in here, and that actually is in here as well. If we go to light, you'll see we've got torch, but I've already made some of those. So we're all set there. We're just ready to place these things. So we're going to scroll over to the combinator, hold the left click, and we'll put that here. And I'm going to shift click it, which turns it on. Haha, light. Let's see, next thing we want to do is place the bed. I'm actually going to place this kind of centered under the window. And if I shift click on it, you'll see I lay down and I would slowly regain health. Cool. Now we need some light. So we scroll to the torches. Now you can't place a light in front of an object. It's essentially an object that has to be placed itself. So we can kind of select the floor here in the middle and try and get one there. And maybe one here. Yep, somewhere in there. There we go. And then we can actually reach up here and put one on the up on the ceiling, or up on the roof, as it were. So there we go. We've got our light sources, we got a bed, we got the combinator, we're safe. Yes, we are ready to start gathering things. Now, I think one of the next things I would end up making, which I haven't made yet, is, in fact, this is all I've made. The tutorial kind of brings you to this point. You do have storage. Let's see, there it is, storage. So you can make chests and things. It does require tin. I haven't gathered that. I haven't made the tin or anything. So that's all new stuff. Everything past this point is pretty much new to me. All of this is new. What am I saying? I always forget this stuff anyway. I just did the basic tutorial. So anyway, one of the things, oh, save our game. One of the things we haven't covered yet is the research. So I believe I mentioned before the kind of 4 different ways you can gain research, and we saw that with the beaker icons that were constantly popping up, and you can even get those for placing objects. I actually didn't see if I got them for placing these or not. I had placed them and moved them around a bit initially, so Who knows? Maybe they didn't pop up. But anyway, if we go ahead and bring the crafting window up here, you can see that we have 346 research points. We can click research, and we've got, yeah, I had to add a little sound effect there. That was me. And you can see we've got some items in here to research. Now, I looked on their wiki. They don't explain what the star was, but what I discovered was that when I click on one of these, like the wooden closet, that star disappears. So I think it's just an indication that this is a new thing you can research that you haven't checked out yet. So I go through here and click these and the star disappears. Now we have a cost here for the research, 50-50, you know, 75 here. We have tiers, and the more items, I believe, that you craft, some items will kind of work you towards the next tier as you make them. It's not, I don't believe it's based on the research you do, it's based on the actual items that you make. So you can see this is a tier 0 here, the window panels, and all the rest of these are tier 1. So we can currently research any of these. We'll go ahead and let's research the window panels. And we'll click the beaker here. Now down here you'll see that's researching. It's going slowly, I guess. Is that even moving? It is, just very, very slowly. And I think, you know what's interesting is we've got 4 of these spots. I bet you we could research something else too. Let's go ahead and do the wood closet, because I just want to see. Or, was that closet? What was it called? Yeah, closet. Okay, so it is in there. I'm wondering if it's queued. It actually looks like it is researching it, so that's cool. So we've got those kind of things queued up. And yeah, it's a pretty straightforward system. Obviously you got the points, you can spend them. I believe, if I remember correctly, they said that if you saw items that had orange names, let's see if we can find any. Tools, weapons. Okay, so we got the short sword. I believe it said something like if it had an orange name and you crafted it, that actually would go towards leveling up your tier and getting you access to next tier items. So I could be remembering that wrong. It could be an indicator that it's going to give you research points, but I'm pretty sure it was related to the tiers. So anyway, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. It looks like we've researched the panels, the glass panels. I don't think I can make those right away. Where would those be? I'm not exactly sure where those would be anyway, but I believe that requires some sand or something. I think the glass stuff requires some items that I may not have. Now out here you actually can see the there's some resources down here. In fact, I just moved my mouse around. There you can see the light indicates where they are, but my pickaxe shows up here, so we could go out here. That might be one of the next things I do because it's right here. You know, I could come out here and start digging. I didn't mean to place that. But let's see, we needed to be over here. There we go. So as you can see, I can kind of pick at this stuff. Alright, get this resource. Pick that up. We got some copper ore. There's more of it here. So this would pretty much be next on the list, I think, for my shelter here. Kind of gathering the resources that are nearby. You don't want to have to go too far. And with those kind of materials near here, there's no reason to do so. Okay, well I think that pretty much covers it for this edition of Weem Tries. You certainly saw me trying out this game, and I hope that I provided you guys with enough information to go on, help you decide whether you want to pick this game up or not, or check it out. Now, I purchased this on Desura for $9.99, and so you can definitely pick it up there. It appeared on Steam's Greenlight and actually was recently approved. It was greenlit, so congratulations to those guys for getting this approved on Steam. It will show up there. Now, one thing to note is if you, like me, purchase this on Desura, you will get a Steam key for this game once they have that available on Steam, once the game's available on Steam. So no concerns there if that's something you're wondering about. I did ask. And yeah, let's see. I'll have a description, I will have a description, but I will have links within that description, which is more important, to things like where to get this on Desura. I'll link to their Greenlight page on Steam and any other relevant information, so definitely check out the description if you get a chance. Additionally, this is a Weem Tries video, but I am considering doing a series on this, so we're talking, you know, something like 2 or 3 episodes at least. But I definitely want to hear from you guys to see if that's something you're interested in seeing me do. So one of the best ways to do that, of course, is to like this video. If you like this video, and I'm kind of seeing that, you guys are leaving me comments saying, yes, do this, please. That's a very clear indicator to me that that's something you're interested in. Now, I certainly will be playing the game no matter what, so this really comes down to whether I should share this with you guys, share more of my experience with this game with you guys. I'm very excited to do so. So definitely let me know if that sounds cool to you. It sounds cool to me. So yeah, like I said, leave a like, leave a comment, and yeah, if you're playing this game already, consider leaving me a comment as well. Let me know what you think about it. If you have any tips, obviously there's things, I'm just learning this game, so if you've got some tips you want to share, you think I could learn something from you, definitely leave that. I appreciate those kinds of things as well. Otherwise, yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. I appreciate you guys watching, stopping in, checking me out, playing the new game, and I will catch you guys next time.